Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Ryan Eliassi and I am 14 years old. First of all, I would like to thank you for your attention and that you are being interested in watching this video. Today, we are going to talk about a big subject, and that is the school system, especially how we can improve it. I chose this subject because after some research, I found that most school systems in the world haven't improved in the last 150 years ago. So I had this idea to talk about what do we need to change. Let's start by what Albert Einstein said. Everybody's a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will grow its whole life believing that it is stupid. What does this mean? He said that you can be perfect in what do you think it is going to do well for yourself, what you can give more. And do not judge yourself by what you cannot do. And do not let anybody judge yourself. Okay? And I had this idea in mind that having kids and teachers live on a series of bells walking through halls in a building that's rectangular and looks like a factory or some other institution completely at the odds with the reality our students learn today. And what does that mean? Well, we all know that the majority of the students pass 6 or more hours a day in a rectangular building that looks like a factory, sitting on a chair, nice and neat, raising their hands if they want to speak, giving them a short break to not even eat, and waiting for that little ring, to that bell to ring. This hasn't changed for more than 150 years. Humanity is improving in all kinds of ways, but they are focusing on why aren't this is progressing in an effective way. Well, turns out that school or schooling was the root of this problem. And after some googling, I found that schools were made to train people at factories. I say, what? In schools, we are controlled by bells. I said it before and I'll say it right now. We have to learn in rooms like prison cells. We have to ask permission to relieve even bodily functions, but not before the teacher asks you a million questions. Like, why didn't you go before school? And you say, I am sorry, my bladder was kind of its own and my schedule is not always timely. See, teachers always use this word. Use your time wisely. But these 6 cruel hours of our lives, we call them school. This is the worst use of time management in the history. What they do is cram information into your head, force feeding you, and it's your job to throw it up on the test. That is not education. That is bulimia. Ask me, what is bulimia? If you don't know what is bulimia also known as bulimia nervosa. It's an eating disorder characterized by being eating following by purging. What does that mean? That means being eaten refers to eating a large amount of food in a short amount of time. Purging refers to attempts to get rid of the food consumed. This may be done by vomiting or taking laxatives. And the more bulimic you are, the better you will do on these assignments, and it is no wonder why so many students graduate mentally and emotionally anoxic. True education teaches you how to survive in this big world. School teaches you, yeah, you did good, but you did not show your work. Start again or start from scratch. In addition, the exam system and the grade system are so far behind. There are 5 kinds of exam systems. The first one, essay exam. It is an examination in which we respond and answer exam with an essay. The second one is a multiple choice exam. What is a multiple choice exam? It is you usually have to pick the correct answer from a series of statements in simulates more to real life, where you would have a number of choices and you need to choose the correct one or the correct answer. The third one is a notebook and take-home exam. Open book exams allow you to take notes, texts, or resource materials into an exam situation. They test your ability to find and apply information and knowledge, so are often used in subjects requiring different references to written materials like lawsuits, statistics, or acts of parliament. The fourth one is problem or case-based exam. Problem or case-based exams are really designed to test your analytical skills and how well you can evaluate, respond, and deal with certain problems or situations. The exams test the way in which your brain works rather than how much information you know. And finally, the last one is an oral exam. The oral exam is a long-held tradition in many schools and disciplines which pose questions to the student in spoken form. Students must then answer the question as appropriate from the material they have studied in preparation for the exam, demonstrating sufficient knowledge in the subject results in passing the exam or an actual grade. Now, let's talk about the grade system. I found out that there are 2 kinds of grade systems. The first one is the number kind. Second one, letter kind. First of all, let's talk about the letter kind. The letter kind is the oldest one. It determines a product quality and grade A of needs. And what is this is, there is A, B, C, E, and the most weakest one is F. F, that means failure, okay? But I think that F should mean find another answer. That's a better way of saying that you have failed the exam. Find another answer. Now, it was made for putting a grade on the quality of meat. It was for the best meat A, B, then they got into the school system. Now the number kind. I didn't find much information about the number kind. I didn't find much information how they have it was implemented into the school system. But let's move on. We also see a huge number of students cram into one room, like 20, maybe 30, maybe 40, even 50 students. That is unbelievable. You see, every scientist would tell you no 2 brains are the same. And every parent with 2 or more children will confirm that claim. If a doctor prescribes the same medicine to every single patient, the results will be tragic. So many people will get sick. This education malpractice where one teacher stands in front of 30 children, each one have different strengths, different needs, different gifts, different dreams, and you teach them the same thing the same way? That's horrific. It is a shame. I mean, teachers have the most important job on the planet, yet they're underpaid. No wonder why so many students are shortchanged. Let's be honest. Teachers should earn as much as doctors, because a doctor can do heart surgery and save the life of this child, but a great teacher can reach the heart of this child and allow him to truly live. You see, teachers are heroes that often get blamed, but they're not the problem. They work in a system with no many options or rights curriculums and created by policymakers, where most of them haven't thought a day in their life just obsessed with standardized tests. They think bowling multiple choice question will determine success. I live this every single day. When I get back from school and my mom or my dad asks me, "What did you learn at school today?" Well, what do I answer? Nothing much. Some exercises and some revision, and that's it. The truth is, I have already forgot because my brain doesn't see an importance in what I learn. Because in my dreams, I do not find a relation for what do I learn and what do I need. That's the problem. Now let's talk about the solutions. First, let's see the best school system on earth. The best school system on earth is Finland's school system. It is doing impressive things. They have shorter school days. They have teachers make a decent wage. Homework is not existent. They focus on collaboration instead of competition. But here's the kicker, boys and girls. The educational system outperforms every other country in the world. Other places like Singapore are succeeding rapidly. Schools like Montessori, program like Khan Academy, there's no single solution. One school in Hampshire, UK offers 24-hour teaching. The children can decide when and if they come to school. The school opens from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. for 364 days a year and provides online teaching through the night. That idea is that pupils don't have to come to school and they can decide when they want to study. Cherry Horn, the head teacher, said some students learn better at night and some students learn better in the morning. So we have to respect it. Second of all, principals should try and find creative ways to be able to access learning by passionate within the system, of course. The only way this whole thing changes is at the state level or at the country level. And it changes by changing the graduation requirements. As it stands now, you have to have graduation credits in course that you do not need, that you will never use, and that you never care about. I think until we change our graduation requirements and we do not force kids into 6 and 7 periods a day or more than a quarter of their lifetime to add on more school credits depending on the place you live on, it won't change. And here is why. If you do what the system tells you, just like an industry right now, I'm talking like we are in an industrial system. You do not need $1 million building or $100 million building or $150 million building. You do not need 200 staff members. You do not need 103 teachers. You do not need 3 or 5 principals. Hell, you do not need even principals in this. You do not need books, textbooks, or computers, pencils, any of this. You do not need all of this. There are too many people with too many interests tied up in this. There are teacher unions, principal unions, support staff unions. They will fight to the nail to keep a job in the schoolhouse, even when they aren't necessary, just to protect their own interests. Construction companies who rely on these buildings rely on the reputation of this school and other companies like textbooks, pencils, etc. There is a monopoly on this educational system. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Until the end of this video, And remember, as a unit, we can do everything if we work together. Thank you again.